All right, how's everybody doing out there? Let me go ahead and sit down. Oh, son of a bitch. I don't know how many other people out there has had total knee replacements on both knees, but let me tell you something. It's a godsending when you have it done. I got this knee over here on this side still healing up. It's been approximately a month and 3 weeks, almost 2 months. This one over here has been since August, so that's almost 6 months. And let me tell you, I thank the Lord every day of my life. When I went in to get my knees replaced, I was told that I'm sorry, I'm trying to hook up here, guys. Hang on one second. I'm trying to hook up on my other phone here. Okay, so I can have a monitor, because I want to make sure. Okay, here we go. Okay. I want to make sure that we get all this in the picture. So what I'm doing, we got Dave Jimenez, Joey Broadway. I like that name. Big Al. Thanks, Big Al. Steve Guy. Who is Steve Guy, Al? Let me know who you're talking about. We got TJ Charles. How's the knees, Pete? I was just talking about those, TJ. And what we're talking about is thanking the Lord for gifts that you received in your life, and always wake up happy that you see the sunrise. Let's get on with the story here, and then we'll talk about knees and stuff later. What we're talking about, people, this is what we're talking about right here. There's a lot of people out there, I get a lot of phone calls about wiring. I'm too scared to wire my car. What kind of wire harness should I buy? How many circuits of a wire harness do I need? What is the best brand? There's a lot of action going on out there, and people are so confused they're having nightmares over it. We're thinking we're going to go watch Freddy Krueger and Friday the 13th over this situation, but it's not as bad as you think. Okay, it's not as bad as you think. There's a car right here behind me, 68 Fastback Mustang. We call this the Rustang because when it first got here, it was worse than junkyard material. It is now almost to the point, quote unquote, concourse restoration. That's right, you heard it straight from my mouth. I said almost to the point of that. The owner has extensively and crucially researched the vehicle, and everything that he has put on this has been top-notch stuff. We're going to get to that here in a minute. I'm talking about this type of stuff here. And he's not cutting any corners. He wants it done right. So if you're that type of person and you don't want to cut corners, then you need to stick around. This is going to be kind of a long video because I want to try to answer everybody's questions on wire harnesses. And I'm going to tell you before we go any further, you can call me a professional wire harness guy. I'm very good at wiring up cars. I'm very good at tracing electrical shorts and fixing electrical shorts. And I tell a lot of people that have electrical shorts, let's just say, for instance, your car might park for a couple days and your battery's dead. That means you have a hot wire that is grounding out somewhere, and 9 times out of 10, if your battery goes dead from parking your car, 9 out of 10, I would say 7 out of 10 times, it's because of the stereo system. There's a short, or there is a ground wire contacting the wrong position, or something is going on with your stereo system, and that's why you're having that issue. There is other reasons that cause that, but most of the time, it's the radio. So there's an answer. Somebody was asking me about that. That's the first thing I would check. What's the best wire harness, my friend Pete? I need to know. We got Alan Christopher, David Jimenez, Joey Broadway. Thanks, Pete. You're welcome, buddy. James Vandergriff. I got an 81 Camaro that I might do this to. Then stick around, James, because I'm going to show you the right way to do it. Big Al, Sammy and Steve guy, the guitar player at Auto School, pops in now and again. Okay, I still don't know who you're talking about, but Steve guy, I don't know. We got Sarah, we got Mexican PR1D3. I hate picking up, fixing something somebody else worked on. I hate doing that too, but sometimes you got to do it. G. Phillips says, I purchased some electrical shorts for my GF. Okay. How's it going, Pete? D.I.Y. And you're the best. Okay. I don't know about all that, Rhino, but we'll go with it. What we got, people, we got 2 wire harnesses. I'm going to go over the 2 wire harnesses that my friend Pete uses. These are the only ones I suggest. These are the only ones I recommend. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it at you. I'm going to go ahead and say it. And if you want to get pissed off, you want to fucking leave the channel, you want to tell me to fuck off, I don't care. But I'm going to tell you right now, do not buy a painless wire system. Do not buy a painless wire harness. They are not painless. They are total crap. And they are a nightmare to install. The wire thickness, the wire gauge is half of whatever you're going to get anywhere else. They cheesecake their way into making themselves look great, and they're not. I've used many painless wire harnesses that customers have, what can I say, they have supplied themselves, and I was basically forced to use it. I will use a painless wire harness if I have to, but I do not suggest painless wiring. I do not suggest them. Stay away from them. They are very hard to work with, and you just got to follow my lead on this, people. The only 2 wire harnesses that I use is this one right here, which we're putting in this Mustang, and I'm going to explain why I'm using this one versus this one. And then I got Kwikwire. Now, a lot of people have seen my videos on Kwikwire. This is the #1 aftermarket wiring harness in America, people. This is a family-owned business. I believe 2 brothers own it. Very dedicated to what they do. They are very, very honest, and if you have issues or problems with your wire harness, they will walk you through it and fix it. So, this wire harness here, and I'm going to close this one up. This is the more complicated of the 2 right here. And we had somebody saying they're wiring up a 81 Camaro. And I'm going to tell you right now, let me go ahead and turn that around. This is the other wire harness. The only ones I use is this one right here, American Autowire and Kwikwire. That's it. Those are the only 2 that I use, and these are the only 2 that I am going to promote on my YouTube channel. American wire harness, let's talk about this first. This is a dedicated harness. When I say dedicated, that means it's a specific harness designed for a specific car. Kind of like our buddy, Mr. 81 Camaro guy. I don't know who that was. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Who was the 81 Camaro? James. Okay, James Vandergriff with the 81 Camaro. He just said that he's going to wire up his 81. If you are going to keep your car 90% original, when I say original, you're going to use the same engine. You're going to use the same headlights. You're going to use the same headlight switch, the same ignition switch. You're going to use the same taillights. Everything's going to be, let's just say 75% all factory original. Then this is the wire harness that you want. This is a dedicated, now they call this the update kit. I'm going to tell you why in a second. But if you are working on a factory OEM car like our Mustang, this is the wire harness you want. Now I hope you're sitting down because I'm going to go ahead and tell you these wire harnesses are not cheap. But they are very, very, what can I say, detailed, and they are very, very precise on the accuracy of vehicle to vehicle fitment. Now, what this wire harness does is it has all the OEM factory connections That means that you're not going to use butt connectors and soldering irons and all that to put this together. When you're done with this wire harness, it's going to be set up just like an OEM factory harness. Now, the other thing about this harness here, and we're going to take a look at it. Let me go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera over here. I'm sure y'all have seen enough of my ugly face, because we're going to go over this, and then we're going to go over the Kwikwire. So let me get the camera over here. And I got Minnie's phone I'm using for a monitor. So let me get over here, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that right there, because we're going to need some good table space for this action. And I'm going to move this box over here, and we're going to get to Kwikwire in a minute. The guys over at Kwikwire are awesome, by the way. You kind of see a bunch of electrical stuff already out on my table here. And this is a OEM original wiper motor for this vehicle. That's what this is. And you can see that it was burned up. So what I did, I took the OEM factory plug and then I spliced it into the wire harness so it'll all plug in OEM factory. But anyway, I'm going to put this right here. I want to show you how detailed and precise this wire harness can be. Let me get this out of the way. This is one of the bags that was in here. And then this is also the fuse box cover. We'll be looking at all that in a minute. Here is your blueprints. This is a blueprint. I call them the blueprints because this is the Bible for this wire harness right here. Let me fix the camera. Hang on. I want to get that camera right down on top of this. So there we go, just like that. Okay, let's do that right there. So I hope everybody can see that. And while I'm moving around here, I want everybody to make sure they do a thumbs up for my friend Pete. Show your support. And let's really, try to work together on this, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish out here. All right, so what we're looking at here, this is your blueprints. This is your Bible that comes with this wire harness right here. And what this is, I'm going to put this out of the way, is I don't know, a lot of people are going to say this is I don't understand what's going on. I'm confused. And it doesn't make sense. But as we open it up, they try to explain everything in full detail. And, it starts out right here. It even says start here. It goes into the tools that you're going to need for this harness. It comes over here and it shows you your fuse box just like that. Okay. As we flip the page, it starts out from point A to point Z, 1 through 100. All the connections that are included in this package, which is your dash main harness installation instructions. And these are factory plugs, people. This is all factory stuff, all right? And I'm going to show you that in the car in a minute. And then, to put the wire harness in, this is your instructions on where the wire harness goes in the factory position, which on this wire harness, on this wire harness here, you have to put this wire harness in the factory location of the vehicle. You cannot put it in the trunk. You can't put it over on the right side when it goes on the left side. You can't put it under your seat. You have to put it in the factory location because this is a factory certified wire harness for this specific vehicle. And it tells you everything here. Now, here's where it gets into the update version of the car. If we look at this picture here, and you're not even going to know what I'm looking at, but these are relays. This is a relay pack that is wired in to this wire harness, which I'm going to show you. And what this is for your updated version. That means if you are going to do an LS conversion on this car, or you're going to put a big block late model Ford engine in it, and you're going to put a 6-speed transmission, and you're going to use LED lights, and you're going to use LED brake lights, and decoded digital gauges, for instance, that's what this is for right here. This is a relay pack that is added on to the wire harness so you can go ahead, and they call it update, I call it Y2K compatible, your vehicle. But you're still using the factory OEM wires with the factory OEM plugs to wire up your ignition switch, your light switch, your fog lights, your wiper switch. Let's see what else. If you want to use your factory gauges, it's a plug and play deal. If you want to use decoded gauges, it comes with the updated plugs that go on your adapter plug, so you can plug everything together. I'm going to show you that. And then, once we get all that figured out, then you open it to this page here. And this page is laying it down to you from start to finish, and this is the heart. Here's our heart that we start, and then it shows you every single connection of what is what, where it goes, and how it is. You're still going to look at this and you're going to tell yourself, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on. So here's our relay pack we were talking about right there. That's the updated relay pack that has everything for everything to hook it up. Electric fuel pumps, all right, decoded digital gauges, whatever aftermarket shit you're going to add, this is it. Now, if you look at my picture here, I don't have a pointer. Hang on one second. I'd like to point some stuff out to you. Okay, so if you look at my picture, you're going to see, I don't know if you can see it from up there, but you're going to see right here where I put an X on that. I got an X over here. I got an X over here. Okay, I got an X right here. I got an X on both of these. These are my hazard flashers and my turn flashers. All right, let's see, where else do we got? Okay, what I'm doing, I am Xing out what I've already connected. That's going to make me know and not get confused of what's going on, if that makes any sense. If you look at this picture right here, you can see this is already wired in. It's already a factory plug that will connect directly to your factory headlight switch. Now, this is something else. This is something here. This is called the update, because a lot of people, when they build these cars, they put in tilt steering columns and telescopic steering columns, and 99.9% of all aftermarket steering columns are General Motor. They got the General Motor plug. So you got two options on this situation right here. You can keep the General Motor plug, and then you can wire your steering column up, which it comes with all of the fittings and ends to wire in there, or it has a certain package. You cut this off, and you can put the factory Ford on there to use, okay? So as you can see, I'm not going to take you through this whole book, but as you can see, here's the steering column. We were just talking about that. As you can see, and here's our optional fog light switch wiring, okay? And I don't know where that fog light is, but the owner has to order a new one. Here it is right here. So this is our original factory fog light from 1968, okay? This wire harness right here, you see that, tells you exactly how to wire this up. You got the black wire as a ground, all right? And then you got a blue wire and a gray wire, which is right here. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but that's blue and that's gray. And then it tells you the orange and the black, bam, hook up to that. Easy, simple shit, people. And then it takes you all the way through. We're going to keep on going. And now we're getting into the complication that people have problems with. And this is our upgraded version action that we're looking at. All right? It shows you right here, this is for our heater motor. But the thing is, we got aftermarket air conditioning and heat in this car. So this manual will take you through, and it tells you exactly how to wire this up. You got the General Motor plug, okay? And then you got a the whole step of how to do that. Here is the wiring harness for your aftermarket gauges, or here is the plug and play system for your factory gauge setup, which is already there. Am I getting the message through to you about your factory car, your custom hot rod car, muscle car that you're building? Okay, here's the complete wiring harness, and this is another good thing about American Autowire. Here's another good thing. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but there's a very faint drawing of the vehicle right here. And what this diagram is showing you, is that where every wire, how it goes in the engine compartment. Okay? So you got these wires that go down the firewall and they come over to here, all right? Or wherever they're going. This one actually goes to the transmission, these wires here. And then you got this wire that comes over here. Do you see what I'm saying? All these wires, they're showing you the roadmap of where all these wires go in your engine compartment if you start on a car like we're working on over here that has nothing to go by. Here's our front light. Here's our front light situation, and it shows you exactly inside the vehicle. You can't see the drawing, but it shows you where the wires go on the fender wells, the firewall, inside the front bumpers and the headlight. So this is a very, very exclusive and high-tech wiring harness that we are dealing with here, people. And if you are building or restoring a factory car, such as a Camaro or a Mustang or a Roadrunner, this, let me pull this out. I'm going to put this over here. All right, hang on. This right here is the wire harness that you're going to want right there. I'm going to go ahead and finish this out, and then we're going to look in the car. Let's see here. We got Robert Carpenter. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing today, Robert? We got Tad Van Winkle. D. Anchored. Late to the show. Okay, thanks a lot, Big D. George Costa. How you doing, George? Giuseppe. We got Giuseppe with us today. We got Big Al. You doing okay, Big Al? Rhino. James Vandergriff. Okay, we're talking about your car, yes. Okay, so what you're looking at is partial what comes in this, and this is how they break it down. This is how they break it down there. Look at this package here, and it says instrument cluster. Do you see that? This is the wiring, and look inside the bag. I don't want to open it right now. Look in the bag here, and you can see it's got the factory plugs all ready to go. Now, this is also for your universal dash wiring, which means we are going to put Dakota digital gauges in this car, and this is the harnesses that plug into the main harness that we are going to use on the vehicle in question. But there's one package, and then see there, here's another one. Now these are all open. I've been wiring, but you can see each individual package is specifically detailed and organized for you to figure out. This is the rear body harness. I was going to go ahead and put it in, but I decided I'm going to wait until after the car's painted. And then, of course, it has detailed instructions in each bag for each harness. Do you see that? So this is a very highly detailed wire harness that you might want to use if you are restoring or modifying or building a factory, I'm going to say it again, factory original car. All right? Do you see how nice and high quality all this is? All of their kits come with a dimmer switch. It comes with a brand new OEM factory style headlamp switch, and it comes with a brand new OEM factory, you got it, ignition switch. Their kits are very, very highly detailed. And here's a package here that's not open. It says front side marker connection kit. Now what these are is on this vehicle here, they actually have the little marker lights on the side. Some 68s didn't have and some do. So it comes with that, and this is the factory original style setup and color code of wiring. So if you, once again, are restoring a factory original car like our Mustang, then this is what you want. This is it. You can get on eBay and you can order them on eBay to save yourself some money. Or you can go directly to American Autowire and order it direct from them. But this is the wire harness that you're going to want right here. This is it. If you are restoring an old classic factory-built automobile right here. And they don't just cover American cars. They have wiring harnesses. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you every car. I don't know. But they have wiring harness for tons and tons and tons of vehicles. And they probably have the wire harness for your car as well. So, now that we found out about that wire harness and what it's for, we're going to go ahead and get the Kwikwire box out, and I'm going to try to explain it to you the best I can because I've already used this wire harness. I used it on my Baja. We're going to go look at my Baja, and I'm going to explain what the difference is between this one over here and the brown box that I'm going to pull out. So hang on. Okay, so what we got here now, okay, we got a guy named George Beato. Love watching my brothers build. Okay, so we got Frank Beato on here. Now his brother's on here. All right, so the guy, Frank Beato, that's actually his car behind us. We're going to be looking at that in a minute. Very proud owner of this vehicle. He should be because we've done extensive work on it. Okay, so what we got here, we got this box here, people. What this wire harness is for, this is called a universal wire harness. This is the type of wire harness that you are going to buy if you're building a kit car, for instance. If you are taking a factory car and you're going to make it into a race car and you're going to rip everything out of it and start over, this is the wire harness that you're going to get. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Now, once again, I've already used this wire harness, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay, but we got the book here. So we got Kwikwire, and this is a 14-circuit harness. And there's not much in the box except this package of stuff I didn't use. And this is your steering column hookup for your General Motors. And then it comes with a miscellaneous bag of connectors and other stuff that you might need, like butt connectors and eyelets. And this is basically your aftermarket situation, is that you're going to get a bag full of stuff like this. Then you're going to have your wire harness in here, and you're going to have your fuse box. All right? You're not going to have everything that you had in that box. It ain't going to happen. This stuff here did not come with it. I had to buy this stuff extra. This is a universal, now listen to me, universal headlamp switch. All right? This is not a dedicated OEM factory switch. So their wire harness comes with the connectors that will work on this particular aftermarket switch. And most of these aftermarket switches that you buy are General Motor related. Like, here's an aftermarket wiper switch, okay? So what you would do is you'd get in the bag of goodies here, you'd take a couple of these things and you wire it up to the ends of the wires on the universal wire harness, and then you would just plug and play on that. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're going to go over this. We got the box. I'm going to show you the car in a minute, but this is a universal. Now remember, the one that we looked at already was for Ford. Ford only, for that 68, 67 Mustang. This one covers GM, Ford, Chrysler, but it also covers aftermarket cars like kit cars, for instance. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody, I built 478 kit cars. a car called Street Beast. They're 34 Fords. I built 478 of them to date, and this is the only wire harness that I would use in it. Now, this has everything plus more, okay? That means that you can use this wire harness on any car that you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be these, okay? And it also has all the extras, such as the electric fuel pump, power windows, power door locks, stereo systems, and all that. But it's a universal kit, all right? And once again, as we open the book, you can see it goes through individual. It tells you everything that you get, every piece by number. It's a play-by-number situation, okay? It shows you recommendations of where you should put your fuse box. You don't have to put that there. This particular wire harness, you can put the fuse box anywhere you want in your car with limitations of wire length. You get very, very long wires with this. They're not pre-cut like the other harness. These wires are super extra long, and you cut them off as you need them to where you run your fuse box. It tells you everything on here, color code. You can actually buy this wire system from them, I guess. You don't need to, though. You don't need to buy that poster, but you can. And then it goes through every single car. Here's your universal setup right here. That means if we're building a Street Beast car, a kit car, this is what we're going to go by on our engine group, okay, our motor group. If we're going to use a GM, it's showing you specifics on where to hook everything up on the GM charging system, which is going to be your alternator. Which wire we're going to plug into this. Which wire goes to that, okay? You can see that it's full of information, and it's very, very simple to read. All the wires are color-coded. Here's your Chrysler alternator. The Ford should be coming up here somewhere. Let's see. But it just keeps going on, and it's very simple to use and to apply. If you're going to hook up an aftermarket ignition system, such as an MSD, it shows you how to do it right here. If you're going to use HIE ignition, it shows you how to do it. All right, if you're going to use a point system, it shows you how to do it. It shows you every single wire. It shows you the neutral safety switches. It shows you everything. And this basically covers all the American cars. But if you're going to do it on an aftermarket car, such as a kit car, or possibly like my car, Volkswagen, then you want to refer to the instrument group diagram, not the GM, Ford, or Chrysler. You're going to want to, you see what I mean? It's all universal, and this is a very, very good book. It's very detailed, highly detailed, and tells you everything you need to know. It tells you the color codes of the wires. And one more thing about this particular wire, it has big giant letters that you can read very clearly on the wires. They use very thick wiring, and you don't have to worry about shorts, electrical shorts, or meltdowns, or anything like that. So what we did is let me go ahead and shut this down, because I want to make sure that everybody gets the picture here. So what we basically did is we went ahead and went over these two wire harnesses right here. Let me back the camera up a little bit. So what we did, we basically went over the two most important wire harnesses that you'll ever use. This is a dedicated one, American Autowire. This is dedicated to the car that you're working on, but once again, it's an updated kit that if you do an LS conversion or you put a 6-speed transmission in it, or, you know, anything of that nature that's not original, you can still use this harness to adapt your Y2K compatibility to. We got this wire harness right here, all right? That is the universal wire harness. You can use this on any vehicle. You can use it on this Mustang behind me if the Mustang was gutted out and you're building a race car, okay? And you want to just go ahead and wire it up, this is the wire harness to get. This is the real deal, people. This wire harness is very expensive. It's around $1,000, maybe more. This wire harness is around $350, $400. This one here is dedicated. This one isn't. This is universal. That's the difference between the two. Let me get the camera. We're going to do a little walk around. I'm going to show you the wire on this vehicle. We're going to go look at the Camaro. Then we're going to look at the Baja. So what we got here is a factory original, OEM factory original, 1968 Mustang Fastback. Okay? And he has upgrades on this. If everybody looks at the suspension, you can see that he's went to the extreme on that. He's got authentic 100% rack and pinion steering, but we're not interested in that. What we are interested in is look what we got back here. We got aftermarket air conditioning in our vehicle, people. So what that is going to take, I'm going to get my flashlight, is that ain't going to wire up like a factory air conditioning system. Does that make any sense? So what we're going to do, and there's our aftermarket air conditioning system. It's already mounted. But what we're going to do is look what I found. I found that hot wire. That's our hot wire for the heater. And then we will follow the instructions on how to hook this up to our wire system with no issues. Here is our factory OEM door switch wires. Original plugs, original color code, everything. These go inside this side panel here and they come out right here. Included in this factory OEM kit, if I can get in here, I'm going to turn it around. You can see that light right there. Right there. That's the factory OEM courtesy light that goes under the dash. That comes with this kit. If we look over here, this wire harness comes out the factory OEM firewall holes where the wire harness is supposed to come out, which is right there. All right. You got your engine. This is our motor group right here. This is our engine harness. And that I got that all bagged up. When the owner puts the motor in, all he's got to do is run his wires. Very easy, simple. We got this wire right here. This is a factory color-coded wire for our marker lights that go in the hood. That is not included in the universal. You have to wire that up separately using universal wires. Okay, this is a dedicated wire harness. These are all the front lights. This is the wires that go all around the front end for the lights and marker lights and everything else. Do you see what I'm saying? So then, as we look into the dash, let me get my light up here. You can see it looks like a clusterfuck. And you're probably looking at that going, gosh, I couldn't do that. There's no way. You can do it, trust me. This is that wire harness that I was telling you about the steering column. It's already wired up for an aftermarket steering column if that's what you want to do. The owner went with the factory steering column. So what we have to do, what I will do, I will take this wire harness. Where's it at? I will take this wire harness and I will adapt this plug. I will cut this off and adapt it to this plug outlet here. Now, if the owner requests and he says, you know what, Pete, I'm making this into a 100% authentic concourse restoration. I want everything to be Ford factory original. Then I would get in my kit and I would get the plug in the kit that matches this plug, and then I would splice it here. And I would do it that way. This is the factory OEM plug for our light switch. These are the factory plugs right here. These are the factory plugs, these two, for our dash. If we were going to use our factory dash, all I'd have to do is plug it in. This is for our VSS, this pack right here, and the owner will be using these. This is the VSS wires for the speedometer sensor and the reverse lights and stuff like that. So this goes to his transmission. This is the original factory way that the wire harness was run from the factory. The original, you can see it down there. There's where the wire harness, that's the factory placement of the wire harness, where the wire harness would go. I can't reach up in there, but that's it. You can see the fuses. So when you look at this car is all together, it will look like an OEM factory original wire harness. Here's another example of the American Autowire. Is if you look in there on the sidewall here, you can see where the wires, that's the factory original place where those wires go. And it also has the original plug, the original plugs for the front wire harnesses to plug into. And down here, if we look right here, this is the factory style plug for our rear lights. So you kind of get the idea of what a American wire harness is all about by looking at this right here. Now, another thing about wiring your car, you're going to have plenty of this stuff right here. All right. I'm not going to go over everything, but you got to have plenty of butt connectors of all sizes, shapes, kinds. And here's something that's good to have. Let me turn this over. I don't want it to. There we go. So these are grommet, assortment of grommets. And what this is when you drill holes in your firewall, or you got to run wires somewhere or whatever. It's good to have a set of those things. Wire ties. I use wire ties a lot. I like to keep my wire harnesses nice and uniform and clean. And using a bag of wire ties, you can purchase this over at Napa for like 20 bucks, and it comes with a 1,000-piece wire harness. 1,000-piece. Yeah, these here, you got it. Wire tie, cable ties, very good investment. So that's our Mustang. That's what we've been working on for the last week or so. But we're going to walk over here, and hopefully everybody's still with me. We're going to walk over here and look at the Camaro. And anybody that's watched my channel knows that we just got this thing started. And this was wired up with an American wire harness, Autowire. This American Autowire harness. And here's a good example. Remember I was telling you about the MSD? There you go. It's all wired into that update system. I got all the wires just run like a factory Camaro. I do not cover my wires until I know everything's working. That's the last thing I do is cover my wires, because if I have a short or I have something hooked up backwards or a ground wire ain't right, then I can get to them. So that's the last thing I do, is cover all the wires up with wire loom and stuff like that. So we're going to look inside the Camaro. I'm going to go ahead and turn the battery on. And when I open the door, the lights should come on. So let's go ahead and open the... And as you can see, if you do that, if you get that far right there, then you know you're doing a good fucking job. You will be proud of yourself if you hook the battery up and you open the door and the lights come on. Then you know you're doing something right. And if you look over there, you can see this is an American Autowire system as well. And this is the updated version. But this is how the wire harness was put in the vehicle. This is it. Now, this owner here, he's using the factory gauges. We're not going with high-tech gauges. He's going with the factory heater and the factory radio. So this is pretty much a factory setup, and you can see that right here. All right, that's the factory plug that goes onto the factory gauges. Now there is a couple things that we had to use, and one of them, and this is your this is the updated system that has all the relays I was telling you about. Well, we had to use a couple of those for our MSD ignition and a couple other things. So what I did is I went in and spliced the wires off there and used them. So that's what's good about it. This has a T56 6-speed transmission in it. And what we're doing with this is we had to use the backup light system and the transmission speedometer. We had to convert everything over to work. So it is complicated, but it's reasonable, and you can do it. Trust me. It's a workable, easy situation. Look over there. You can see there's the factory wires for the interior lights. You can keep on looking. There's the wire in there for the door pin switch. So very, very awesome wire harness. If you're doing a factory OEM car, I suggest the American Autowire right off the bat. And the Camaro will be going to the UK, just to let everybody know. We'll be working back on the Camaro once I get the wire harness done. I'm flip-flopping back and forth here on vehicles. So then we come over to this car, and we can't see the wire harness because I got that cover on it. But this is our universal wire harness. We're not using dome lights. We're not using factory gauges. We're not using factory radios. We're not using factory ignition switches. Everything on this car is universal, and that's the wire harness that we're using. You can see right here, there's my ignition switch. That's my fuel pump switch to turn the fuel pump on. We got aftermarket gauges in here, and this is the type of situation, this is the type of vehicle that you would use your aftermarket wire harness on. This was a factory OEM car that we had gutted down, stripped down, and turned into a aftermarket race car, basically. So I hope that this video has helped you out. And we're going to be using American Autowire on this one as well. Let's go back over here. We're going to finish this video up, so I got to get back to wiring. Got a lot of wiring going on. I'm going to go ahead and set it up here like this. Okay. All right, here we are back at our desk. This has been my desk here for a while. Every time I start working on I flip-flop back from cars, I move this table over there and pile stuff on it. I like to do that because I like to see the boxes disappear. And the less boxes we have, that's the closer to getting the piece of shit out of my shop. I actually had somebody say, why do you call all your cars a piece of shit when you're working on them? Because until they're done, they are a piece of shit, because that's how they came into my shop. But once they leave, they're an awesome, beautiful piece of machinery that I am very proud of that I did. They're not all pieces of shit. I will say one thing, my Baja Bug is a piece of shit. I have never ever worked on a Volkswagen Bug and done as much work as I've done to that pile of shit in my fucking life. And I've owned over 300 fucking Volkswagens, I can tell you that. This was a piece of shit. This was a total big bag piece of shit when it showed up at my shop, and I did not want to work on it, but when I say I'm going to do something, I finish what I do, and that's what we're doing here. I told them I would do it, so I'm doing it. And it's turning out to be a beautiful fucking car, okay? So yes, they are pieces of shit when you start on them. I'm sure Hoosier Garage out there can go ahead and agree with me. When he started on his van or his Dodge, it was a piece of shit. And that is what we do, people. That is DIY. We take the piece of shit and we turn it into something that is beautiful and awesome that we will remember the rest of our lives. I fucking did that. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, it is a piece of shit. We got Mike Bristol. How you doing, Mike? I said Hoosiers, Robert Williams, Ken Craig. I like these kits, my friend Pete. Which one are we talking about, Ken? We talking about this one or that one? We got a guy named And Me. Are you doing this again? What am I doing again, guy? What am I doing again? If you don't like it, get the fuck out of here, okay? You just got your attention from being an attention whore. Now fuck off. Let's see. B-dubs, agreed. Applies to no matter what you're fixing. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. Scott Hensley. Hello, Pete, Daytona, Ohio. Awesome. I'm glad you're from Dayton, Ohio, buddy. Scott. So we got a lot of people watching. We'll probably get a lot more views on it. This is in the middle of a weekday, which is bullshit, but we're here anyway. And let me go ahead and say this. It's a big fucking job wiring a car. Don't get me wrong. It will intimidate you. It will put tears to your eyes, and it will give you sleepless fucking nights. But if you are dedicated and you're headstrong and you got a positive attitude, I'm going to tell you right now, you will do the job and finish it with whatever wire harness you use. But if you decide to get painless, beware. You are going to be in a lot of pain, people. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. We got Gamer Shelf. You missed a spot on the planet, on the paint. Okay. I'm glad that you noticed that, Gamer, because I didn't see that, but that's awesome. Backyard Builds, what's your going rate? I don't tell people rates on YouTube because it depends on what the car is and how much work I'm going to do and what is consistent in the work that I'm doing. So when I do a vehicle, everybody gets charged the amount that is reasonable where I'm making a living and you're getting a deal. That's the fucking rate that I charge. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I charge $187 an hour. And you know, if the paint costs $400 a gallon, I'm charging you $600 because I got to make a profit. I don't do that. Okay? I'm not that guy. All right? I'm just an honest fucking guy that makes a living, puts food on my table, and goes down the road. That's my rates. Backyard Build. Okay. Any other questions we can answer before I go? Okay. Gavlin Studios. I'm here. Thank you, Gavlin. I appreciate your support. George Costa. God bless you too, buddy. Todd Van Winkle. Phil Clifford. Scott Hall. You rock. Okay, I'm trying to, but I don't know if I'm doing that good of a job. Let's see. Kush McGee. Thanks for subbing. That's another thing. I'd like to see more subs out here, people. You know, that would be really nice. If I can get some people to sub me. I'd like to hit 200,000. Is that being greedy? Is that asking too much? We got guys out there that got 6 million fucking subscribers and get 32 million hits on a video in 2 days, and all they're doing is taking a hammer and hitting a tree with it. What the fuck is that? Are you learning from that? Or is that the compatibility of mentality that we're living in here? I would rather watch somebody hit a tree with a fucking hammer than learn what fucking wire harness I want. I gotta go, people. I'm starting to get loud, and we don't want to do that. Take it easy. My friend Pete, your friend Pete. Wiring up a Mustang behind me and doing the best I can do. Let me get over here and turn the camera off, and hopefully you learned something here, guys. Hopefully you did. We'll see you later. Take it easy. 68 Mustang coming along, doing a good job at it and doing the best we can. Make sure to thumbs this video up, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell. When you hit the bell button, let me tell you what's going on. They changed this bell thing around. When you hit the bell for the subscriptions, there's going to be a little box that comes up. You want to hit all videos. Hit all videos on that. Please do me a deal. We got to go.